welcome to Cover Story. It's been a very crucial weekend for the Congress party in particular, what with the National Herald case and also the repercussions and the fallout of that court appearance. It's been an 18-minute court appearance, but it's going to have a long-term repercussions for the Congress party and also for the politics of the country. To discuss the fallout of this case, I have with me Professor Madhav Nalapat, Editorial Director, Sunday Guardian, and we're also going to be joined by RPN Singh, National Spokesperson, Congress Party, and GVL Narasimha Rao, National Spokesperson for the BJP. But first, I'm going to begin with Professor Nalapat. If you can just put things in perspective for us, who has won the battle of perception? You know, forget the legal intricacies. But today, the Gandhis, you know, you saw how choreographed the movements were, them going to the courts, going alone, then coming back, making that statement at the Congress headquarters. How they've been playing to the headlines. What do you make of the whole?
You know, Priya, what a difference 18 months make. I mean, for the 18 months before the Lok Sabha elections, almost the entire campaign of the BJP was on the corruption of the Gandhi family, was on, you know, the Sonia Gandhi's corruption, Gandhi family corruption, Congress corruption, high-level Congress leaders corruption. For 18 months, they were going on and on and on about it. And I think that is a very helpful thing in propelling them to power. Because a large part of the BJP success is because of the total unpopularity of the Congress party and the Congress leadership.
Correct.
Today, at the end of 18 months, what have they achieved so far as bringing to account the Congress party leadership is concerned? The answer is a big zero. Not even an FIR, not a single case. Even existing cases of UPA leaders, like for example, Dayanidhi Maran. Dayanidhi Maran is walking around free. There have been supposed to be major scams in various sectors, like for example, coal, civil aviation, etc. In coal, Manmohan Singh was given a clean chit. I mean, he ran the coal ministry.
Yes.
So what are you saying? There was no scam there. Civil aviation, Air India today is gone. It's a sick airline. No one is responsible because 18 months nobody has been held to account. So at the end of 18 months, the BJP score on accountability is zero. So one big winner is Subramanian Swamy. He is outside the government, he has been kept outside parliament, and yet he is seen as the one person in the BJP who is seeking to enforce accountability. The second big winner, and I would say really big winner, is Rahul Gandhi. This country likes somebody who's tough, who's bold, who's courageous. Rahul Gandhi has come across today as the leader who's really now taking on Prime Minister Modi. In the same way as Prime Minister Modi took on Sonia Gandhi and built his image, Rahul Gandhi is trying to build his image as the counter to Prime Minister Modi. And in that, I would say, he is succeeding very well.
And just as Sonia Gandhi built her image as a leader of opposition, when she first came to power, she was a leader of opposition. So in that sense, Rahul is finally learning the political skills. RPN, if I may bring in to you, today's been a big ticket day for you. How do you see the Congress emerging after the National Herald court appearance? Do you feel that, you know, the party has successfully built up sympathy amongst, say, even the party cadre?
No. So we aren't looking for sympathy, Priya.
And what are you looking for?
We are not looking for sympathy. We are not political vendetta, is what Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi spoke after the court proceedings. This is something which is extremely unfortunate, that in the last 1 year, the BJP government, instead of trying to fulfill the promises they made to the people of this country, they are only targeting all the voices that are against them. This is a country which believes in democracy. This is a country where the Congress party fought the British for independence and for democracy.
How are you making this into a national movement,
But they cannot afford to muzzle those very voices of democracy. As far as Mr. Subramanian Swamy, I'll just talk about Subramanian Swamy and how he's being used by the present government to tarnish the image of the Gandhi family. If you see, I'll give you just two instances. When the ED director, Mr. Katoch, said that there was no case against National Herald, Mr. Subramanian Swamy wrote 2 letters to the Prime Minister to have the ED director removed. He was removed within 10 days. We had another ED person by the name of Mr. Himanshu Lal, who was removed immediately because he did not do what Mr. Subramanian Swamy wanted to do. Today, when Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi had to appear in court, What does the BJP do to egg on Mr. Swamy? They give him a ministerial bungalow in Lutyens, Delhi.
No, these things can't
We
happen
have
overnight,
always-
RPN.
The Congress party, whenever it's been in opposition, the political parties have always tried to...
The bungalow was given much earlier.
Back aa raha hai.
Some problem with this, we'll get it fixed. Meantime, Mr. GVL Narasimha, you heard what RPN has alleged. He's saying you're actually egging Subramanian Swamy along, even though the case was filed at a time when the BJP was not in power. But there has been some kind of encouragement and cheerleading support given to Subramanian Swamy by the government.
I think the Congress's cries of political vendetta fly in the face of logic, because it is the case for which Gandhis appeared as an accused today in the court. I think this was based on a complaint by Dr. Subramanian Swamy in his personal capacity. He filed the complaint when he was not even a member of the BJP. We are actually here to really counter the Congress party, because they have been pervading a lot of lies, as if Enforcement Directorate had anything to do with this court hearing or the case. Both the High Court and the lower court, the trial court earlier, prima facie they said these charges must be tried in a court of law, in the lower court, because there is a criminal intent, and this whole thing smacks of criminality. This is what the courts have observed, based on evidence that was placed before them from public domain. So there was no investigation so far carried out by any governmental agencies, and governmental submissions before the court have not even been made.
Okay,
so
apart from the legalities of the case, Mr. Rao, what about the perception? You know, today they've been playing on two cards. They've been trying to pose themselves as a victim, and they've been, peddling the vendetta theory. How do you see these playing out?
I think for the first time you have both the Congress President and Congress Vice President given a tag of accused out on bail in cases of that smack of criminality. The trial must go on. The trial will establish the culpability or otherwise. But prima facie, 2 tiers of courts have found that there is a need to conduct a trial on charges of cheating, misappropriation of funds to the tune of 5,000 crores, the assets which the AGL company had owned.
Yeah.
And all the logic that the spokespersons have been giving out in media for the past 15 days. The High Court had examined all these submissions and rejected them outright.
Okay, quickly,
so
I'll bring RPN
the
into
Congress
this.
party has lots of face. Certainly today, I think when P.V. Narasimha Rao faced a similar trial on charges of cheating in a case concerning one gentleman called Pathak.
Okay, one second, GVL, I'll get...
he had to resign.
let me get
he had to
RPN into
resign
this. Yes.
and go before the court as an accused.
Okay, RPN, he's citing the case of Narasimha Rao, who had to go to court as an accused, but I think after he had to resign, not resign, but after he lost the election as Prime Minister. But RPN, how do you see this, the Gandhi family, the leaders being, making that walk to the court as an accused? Rahul Gandhi especially has been very strong in his anti-corruption tirade.
Well, yes, there is no corruption. There is no corruption in this case, Priya.
But the
It
charges
is something,
say so.
Young India is a Section 25 company, which, beg your pardon?
The charges are talking
Beg your
about
pardon?
criminal intent. The charges that the court has framed.
There's something proper.
Okay, we'll...
That is the observation of the court. If they read para 36 of the same order, it does not, it's just a finding. That is how courts write law. If the spokesman had ever done law, they would have known what the court is saying. It is not a verdict.
Okay, it's not a
I
verdict.
can't understand. What I can say that
but-
we have
but no,
substantially
it's an order.
proved that Mr. Subramanian Swamy is acting as a mukhota of the Prime Minister of this country, and this political vendetta. What the facts of the case are, we shall fight in court. But this political vendetta, we will continue to raise our voices for the farmers of this country, for the young people of this country, be for the middle classes of this country, be for the poor people of this country.
Okay.
They had tried to do the same thing with Indira Gandhi. They tried to do the same thing with Rajiv Gandhi. What happened in Bhopal? I'd like to ask Mr. Rao. They tom-tommed the whole country.
I'm going to ask...
There was misdemeanor in Bhopal. But
Okay.
who won the case? Who won the case in the end? Who had egg on their face? The Congress or the BJP?
You know, Arvind, very interesting you brought up Bofors. Mr. Rao, before you bring you in, I want to bring Mr. Nalapat. The Bofors is a very good example because, you know, they may have won it on legalities, but perceptionally they lost an election on Bofors. The taint really stuck to them for a very long time, and even today, you know, their Bofors is coming back to haunt the
Well,
Gandhis.
certainly Bofors had a big impact in the 1989
Did
election.
Herald play the same role?
It had a big impact, but I would like to remind you, Priya, very clearly. Mr. Quattrochi was allowed to leave India by Narasimha Rao. The second Prime Minister who allowed Quattrochi to escape this time from Malaysia was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. I don't think Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a member of the Congress party or was a Congress Prime Minister. So during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, and what happened was the same evidence, or I don't know what evidence was present in Malaysia, which a Swiss court said is indicative of there being bribes, the Malaysian court, on presentation of whatever evidence the CBI gave, said no, there is no evidence. So the case was obviously bungled very badly, and it was bungled by the BJP. So I'd like to say, in this particular matter, there is nothing to choose from between BJP and Congress.
Okay, I'll bring in Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, who's actually also helped Dr. Swamy file the case, if I'm not wrong. Or you?
No, I'm a complainant witness.
You're a complainant witness. You know, the Congress has, I believe, they're planning to move the Supreme Court to get the word criminal intent dropped from the... Can this be done?
Perhaps it can be done. They can definitely move the Supreme Court because Article 136 onwards gives enormous leeway to anybody to enter the Supreme Court and definitely try their luck in the Supreme Court. But whatever said and done, all these matters were argued both at the trial court, which came out with a 20-odd page order, and the High Court of Delhi, where hearings went on for almost 10 days, running to over 20 hours, where legal luminaries like Kapil Sibal and Mr. Singhvi were arguing. And all these points were put forth point by point, were rebutted by Dr. Swamy, and finally we had a judgment, an order, which very clearly says that they must go down and stand trial at this point in time. That is now what.
So today's proceedings, the proceedings in court when the Gandhis appeared. How do you see that? I mean, at the end of the day, Dr. Swamy says he got what he wanted. He is satisfied. The Congress is saying we are satisfied because, you know, we didn't really, we got what we wanted also.
Frankly, today's was not much ado about nothing, because today was a procedural milestone. Yes, Dr. Swamy was in the court, Madam Sonia Gandhi was in the court. That made huge photo op. But definitely from a lawyer or a person who is well-versed with the process of law, it happens day in, day out for us. So
okay, I'm watching the fallout of the National Herald court appearance by the Gandhis. RPN Singh, if you can hear me, I want to bring you in. You were there at the party office today when the Gandhis, you know, they went to court and they came back. Why was all this clapping and cheering after they came back? I mean, they haven't really been exonerated by the courts, nor did they do something very heroic, nor did they win an election. Why all this applause, clapping, banners? What was all that about?
No, see, we didn't want any political tamasha. We tried to limit it to only party work, party MPs, senior leaders who were called to the AICC. The BJP wanted to make it into a political tamasha, and they began it. They want to ride on the political vendetta. There were a lot of people who came to the AICC just to support the leadership, and they were celebrating their leader to just tell them that we are with you, and we know there are no charges. The BJP, whenever there has been in government, has tried to muzzle the voice of the big Congress. When the British couldn't muzzle our voice, you think the BJP is going to be able to muzzle our voices? We will continue to fight for the people of this country. And I think the BJP, instead of political vendetta, should actually be looking at. One thing is very clear today by the evening, the BJP has agreed that Subramaniam Swamy is the Mukhota of the BJP, and they are backing him from the back. That is absolutely clear to the whole nation today. But what is more worrying for this nation is, the BJP in the last 1 year has continued with political vendetta, and they should actually be looking at the promises they made to the nation. The economy today has been downgraded from 8.5 to 7.5. That is very worrying for the nation. That is what they should be looking at.
Let me bring in GVL.
Vendetta. Instead of trying to pull down governments in Arunachal Pradesh, which is a Congress-ruled state,
okay.
You know, two-thirds majority government being trying to be pulled down by the governor. We can understand people being raided, senior BJP Congress leaders, children being raided.
I'll keep the focus on the National Herald Case.
Threaten the Congress party. The British could do it. The BJP definitely can't do it.
Okay, the British can't do it. BJP, what are you trying to do? Ask RPN Singh. GVL, you want to come in?
I think, I don't know whether that is supposed to be taken seriously, because people of the country in a democratic election have rejected the Congress party and brought it down to its lowest tally ever. and possibly it's not the British people who voted against the Congress, it is people of India who rejected them outrightly. So let them not see everything, for every battle they lose, they need not remind the British.
Okay,
Secondly, what was on display today, was utter sycophancy of the Congress party and a slavish mentality. I have no hesitation in saying this, because the leaders were not facing some kind of court case in a public interest litigation. It was not a matter of national interest or a public interest. It was a case of misappropriating a company with 5,000 crores of assets by leaders of the Congress party, and they wanted to celebrate this as a great victory march. I think people of the country are watching all the behavior of the Congress party. I think it really does not behoove a Congress party to celebrate their own leaders charged with corruption cases. I think therefore the Congress and corruption are synonymous with each other. They have demonstrated it through their own leadership today.
Thank you. Last words from you, Professor Nalapat.
Well, I just want to point out that, as far as I am aware, neither the Enforcement Directorate nor the Income Tax nor any official agency was present in the court or arguing the matter at all, nor was anybody from the Attorney General's office. And secondly, I mean, RPN may be seeing a vendetta. Now, certainly politically there is no doubt the BJP has been trying to defeat all parties, including some of its own partners, in election after election. But so far as the central level is concerned, my point is there is no vendetta. The BJP is not enforcing accountability at all for all the scams that it has been shouting from the rooftops that the UPA is indulged in. And even in this matter, it's a private citizen who has really cast a stone, not the government.
Not the government. Mr. Venkatesh, you wanted to bring in some point about the latest development in the case.
No, the whole thing is, as far as I am concerned, this case is just the beginning.
Okay.
And what we have seen is a trailer of a horrible movie. The main picture is yet to come. We will have at some point in time, necessarily Dr. Swamy has already filed a complaint with the Enforcement Directorate. And Enforcement Directorate from this point in time cannot close down its eyes. And it has to necessarily step in and cognize. Either it has to sell, whether it has to cognize, or it has to reject. If it rejects, Dr. Swamy can go to the court and say that ED must look into the matter, or ED must look into this matter. So this is going to be another huge, at that point in time, definitely the state agencies will come.
More is yet to come, okay?
Yes, more is yet to come.
Okay, RPN, final word for you. What is going to happen in Parliament on Monday? Is the Congress going to carry on the agitation on whatever pretext, whether it's National Herald, charges against Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, whatever?
Well, no, we are not doing it on the National Herald. It is the responsibility of the government. It is the responsibility of the government to run Parliament. All the bills that they stalled are the bills that we helped them pass when they came into government. So they should not be blaming the Congress party. As well as what he said about what is going to happen in the court cases in the coming days, we can tell you we can expect all ED officers who don't fall in line with the policy of what Mr. Subramanian Swamy and the Prime Minister want. They will be transferred or what you call demoted, like you had 2 ED officers doing that. So we can understand the political vendetta, where it is coming from. And Mr. Narasimhan Rao, who kept saying that that 5,000 crore scam has taken place, that I can understand. He's an educated man. That Section 25 is a non-profit company. You cannot profit from that. The Young India or AGL properties have not been sold. They have not. No one's taken any profit. No one's got a salary. So I don't know where is that money they're talking about. Everything is out in the open. They can try their level best to intimidate us. They will never succeed. Best of luck to them.
That seems to be the Congress strategy, GVL. Last words from you as to how you're going to counter this, because they are going ahead with this victim and vendetta card, and pretty successfully in the media.
Priya, this is a court case. I think the Congress party has had to change its stance at least 3 occasions in the last 10 days. They first cried political vendetta, blocked Parliament on National Herald. 3 days later, they said, no, this was not the reason why we blocked Parliament. In the last 3-4 days, we've been hearing that the Congress party leadership will not take bail and they would want to go to jail and make a spectacle out of it. And then they subsequently...
why did you change your strategy of no bail?
And today they have changed that position. So I think the Congress has not got its act together. They are perturbed by
Everything
the charges.
that you read or hear in the papers or the newspapers or television channels is not true. We have been saying from day one it is political vendetta, and we kept saying if we have proven that it's political vendetta, and we have proven
that why you
Mr.
blocked
Subramanian
Parliament?
Swamy is a mukhota of the Prime Minister of
Okay.
this country
Last word
to
to-
destabilize and to intimidate this government. Those 2 points have been proved amply in front of the nation today, and that is something that the BJP cannot hide behind.
Okay. Final words from you, Professor Nalawat.
See, the BJP came to power on the promise of many more jobs, lower prices, and lower regulation. We haven't seen many jobs being created as yet. We are not seeing prices fall as yet. And we certainly are not seeing a lowering of regulation. In fact, taxes have gone up. So there is a change in public mood vis-a-vis the BJP. And the Congress party, now commanded by Rahul Gandhi, is taking advantage of that. Rahul Gandhi, before his meditation or his holiday, was very much like Rajiv Gandhi. The new Rahul Gandhi is very much like Sanjay Gandhi. He is very combative, he is very
Alright. On
assertive,
that-
he is very aggressive, and in my view, thus far, he has the political advantage.
All right. On that note, we are going to end now. But thank you for watching this edition of Cover Story. And watch this space, because I'm sure this is not the last word on the National Herald fallout. Thank you.